Okay. How is everyone doing? I hope everyone's having a great day. Uh, we're going to be playing some Red Dead here for the stream today, having some fun, and we are going to be discussing the new GT Online update as well. Let me post this on Twitter here. Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, hello. How is everyone doing? I hope everyone's having a great day. Can you guys hear me? Good? Hope everyone's having an awesome day today. Okay. I'm sorry I started kind of late. Thank you, Jacob. I was just editing a video I have talking about the new updates. I'm making a top 5 on the new update, and that video's going to be released on the weekend. Thank you, Jacob, for the super chat. Thanks, man. How are you guys? How's your weekend, everyone? A new helicopter? No. But they're adding a new jet, but it looks like they're adding a new plane. So, some of you guys have told me in the comments that I've actually missed a plane. There's actually on the runway of the aircraft carrier. If you look really closely, it appears there's a new plane on there. It's a propeller plane also. Hello from the UK. Well, hello, Jake. Ready to go for some Capitale? Well, unfortunately, Red Dead is not going to get any kind of update this month. We're not going to see anything even in July. Yeah, it is twin engine, it looks like. Yeah. Yeah, what about them? Oh, okay. That's the 45, I believe, right? That fires it. Oh. Uh... Yeah, well, Rockstar technically pulled the plug on Red Dead Online content in December of 2021, really, when you think about it, yeah. Because that was the last, we didn't have any kind of update in that time, so it's kind of December where it started. I have a question if you don't mind me asking. What's your question, Jonathan? Did I ever make a video on Ambrose Island Hitman 3? No, I didn't, but I want to. I will, still. I'm glad Red Dead was abandoned. It means Rockstar can put their efforts to working on the Mercenaries DLC. Well, I know that you're trolling specialist. I know that you like playing Red Dead too. So it's, but thank you for sponsoring my channel, man. But the specialist DLC, it's probably gonna be a fun DLC, but don't expect this to be a massive DLC. I think people that are saying this is gonna be a massive DLC, I think that they're getting their hopes way too high, personally. This is not gonna be a massive DLC. Why do you think Rockstar abandoned Red Dead Online? Because they're stupid, they didn't put effort into it, and they thought they could basically milk this game without putting that much effort into it, and they were expecting massive returns, and when they didn't get those massive returns, I think that they were, yeah. When they didn't get those returns, I think they decided to just do GT Online. Oh, thank you, Blinded Eagle. Hey, Pro, sorry I couldn't make it tonight. Do you think we can chat after the stream? I sent you a message, but I have a feeling you might have been busy, so I get it. Okay, we can chat possibly later tonight if you're still on. I'm probably gonna have dinner after the stream tonight, so I'll probably message you later tonight. But I just get a lot of messages in the day, and just whenever I usually check my messages in the morning and when I go to sleep. So I'll take a look at your message a little bit later. But thank you for the super chat, Blinded Eagle. Will you be getting around to making any content about LA Noire? Yes, I will eventually play that one. Hey, Fernando. Okay. Let's wait for the target to arrive here. I'm gonna put my aim on free aim here too. Hello, Pro. Hope you're good, buddy. I'm good, Rashawn. How are you, man? The target should arrive any moment now. There, I got him. Ooh. Okay. There we go. Got it. Nice work, everyone. The NBA commissioner will make his final decision after the NBA finals on Ja Morant, the guy who try and act like a gangster rapper. Hope he gets. Well, thank you, DJ. Thank you for the super chat. That's the guy who was waving around the gun, right? Is that the guy who I'm thinking of? But if that is the case, why if you're gonna be playing basketball, why are you gonna throw your career away for something just stupid? Oh, happy birthday, Aiden. There's a collectible here somewhere. Where is it? There it is. Am I for being a Grizzlies fan? No, you're not, Mr. Waifu. Enjoy basketball. It's fine, man. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, I did read it, Mario. Yeah, that Mizzy guy is a complete idiot. Like, I can't believe that. Like, how stupid can you possibly be? All he's doing is he's destroying his life. That's what he's pretty much doing with those dumb pranks. Wait until like 5 minutes to deliver this guy. Hey Pro, I know it's a rumor, but do you think Rockstar will nerf the laser? If so, what's your opinion on nerfing something that's been in the game since day one? Um, Honestly speaking, I don't think the laser and the Hydra are really broken anymore. I know some people might think that no, because of the explosive cannons, but I would argue that the laser and the Hydra were overpowered like years ago. Now I don't think so. Why? Because back then there was no explosive sniper. I don't know why so many people don't carry explosive snipers, because I get jumped by griefers all the time that use hydras and lasers, and what they never expect is they never expect me to have an explosive sniper, and it only takes one shot. Even if I don't blow them up, just one shot gets them to bail out. And so that's so this explosive sniper, that's it. You just get into cover, wait for them to nosedive you, just shoot at them. That's it. They're done. And do you know what the ridiculous thing about this is? I've gotten jumped by people in lasers and hydras before, and when I use the explosive sniper on them, they message me and they say, "Wow, explosive sniper noob." That's what they say to me when they're the ones who are bombing me with a jet. So, like, I honestly don't care if people call me a noob for using the explosive sniper. I've always kept it on me because it's so helpful for situations like that. But that's what I think. I don't think the laser and the Hydra are really that, broken personally. I think the Oppressor Mark II is personally a bigger problem than them. But what I will say about the new fighter jet could actually be a problem. It could. And I'm going to talk about that in my newest video. So I'm going to be making a video talking, like, giving more in-depth analysis of the update and, like, things I want to see, things I don't want to see. And that's going to be probably up on this weekend. And, the worst case scenario, this new jet that comes out, I thought it was the F-22, but people in the comments are telling me it's the F-35. I don't know jets that well, so I can't comment on that. But what I will say is, if this new fighter jet has, like, some ridiculous new ability, like it has, like, off the radar, with like and it's like the fastest, most agile jet in the game or something like that, then I could see that becoming a problem. But I personally don't think the jet is going to be that overpowered, but that's just one thing to consider personally. I wish Rockstar would make it optional for us to have explosive cannons on different planes and jets. I'm tired of just the laser, the Hydra, and the Rogue. Well, I don't know about that personally, Wild, because thank you for the super chat. If more vehicles had more explosive cannons, I think it would make the lobbies even more chaotic. So I think it's probably better if the explosive cannons are limited on those vehicles. Thank you, Wild, for the super chat. I think you missed the super chat, and where's the audio? Sound is muted? What? Wait, what's muted right now? The game audio is muted. What? Why is the game audio muted? Huh. What about now? Is the game audio now good? Yeah, I'm just looking at my OBS settings right now. Oh, wait, I think I got this. Hold on a second. Okay, is it good now? Now is it good? Is it good now? I think I fixed it. I think I got the problem fixed. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry about that. It was my OBS settings. I apologize, everyone. Do you prefer free aim because it's more of a challenge? Yes, I do, Blinded Eagle. I'm sorry about that, guys. Didn't realize I had the game audio muted. Do you think the explosive sniper rounds should have bullet drop, windage, or elevation in GTA? Not really, because if everything else doesn't have bullet drop, then it shouldn't either. And also with bullet drop, sometimes those fighter jets are like really high up in the air that are attacking people. If you put bullet drop on the explosive sniper, it's gonna make it harder to take out those griefers. So no, I don't think so personally.
To each their due. Money's on the table.
I wish Rockstar would make it optional for us to have explosive cannons on different planes. Oh, okay. Wild, I read that one earlier, but yeah, I appreciate your super chat. I just think it would be a little bit more broken if Rockstar allowed it on most other vehicles. That's just my personal viewpoint. I do respect your viewpoint, though. Unpopular opinion. Not excited for the GTA Mercenaries DLC. A new plane and copy and paste missions not enough to get me hyped. At least not from the newswire. Do you know what my worst fear about this update is? You know what my worst fear about it is? The thing that I'm scared the most about this update. It's not even that the jet is gonna be broken or stuff like that. What I'm just worried about the update is I'm worried that the missions are gonna suck. That's what I'm worried about. Because it's not a new business. We know that. It might be tied into Smuggler's Run. That we don't know yet. But what I will say is, think about it this way, with the new DLC. What if the new DLCs are just like contact missions? Like, there's no story, no cutscenes, do a few missions, go on an aircraft carrier, and that's it. That's it for most of the DLC. You know, I want to see, like, a good story, and I want to see, like, missions we can start in free mode, like new VIP work, add new CEO work, new jobs that we can do in free mode itself. Like, you know, that adds more diversity to the game. I'd like to see that. No, Aussie guy, the GT Online update is coming out in 11 days, so a week and a half. I don't know what you're thinking, Pro. Like, those cannons are really OP when someone is using thermal vision inside a laser or a Hydra. That I will agree with you on, Mario. That you should not be able to... I forgot about that. My bad. That's one thing I forgot about. So, while I don't think the laser and the Hydra... I know it might be a little unpopular opinion. While I don't think they're that broken because you can use the explosive sniper, because I've taken down jet aces with the explosive sniper, no problem. I've done that before. But... the thermal vision, that's something I completely forgot about. I'm sorry. My bad. You should not be able to use thermal vision in a jet. I agree with that 100%. You should not be able to use thermal mode in a jet. I think that is stupid. I agree with you on there. That should not be allowed. Thank you, Mario, for the super chat. And thank you, Jacob, for the super chat. I get the explosive sniper, but otherwise, most of the Mark II weapons need an ammo buff. Mostly the ARs, pistols. So tired of constantly going to terabyte. Yeah, you know, most of the Mark II weapons should let you at least carry 500 rounds, except for the explosive sniper. That I can understand why it only lets you carry 40 rounds. It's for balancing reason. But yeah, I completely forgot about the thermal vision. Thank you for reminding me about that. That is really annoying. I do agree. Hey, Pro, I just graduated and finished high school. Congratulations, Eshaw. Yes, I will. Only 400. That's the video that's coming up right now. Your Canon Lens 2 playthrough is awesome, Patrick. And have you watched the Ackman video about why Red Dead Redemption 1 is a masterpiece? And I'm not looking forward to GTA Online new update. No, I haven't seen Ackman's video on that. I've seen Ackman's videos on World at War. Those are the videos I watch on his channel. But the other ones I haven't really watched. What's the most open world games you want to play this year? Well, I don't think GTA 6 is coming out this year. I highly, highly doubt it. The game that I'm looking forward to this year, which technically I guess might be an open world game, probably not. It's gonna be probably semi-open world. But the game that I'm looking forward to the most, that's gonna be my game of the year for 2023, is Payday 3. Payday 3 is coming out this year. It's supposed to take place in my hometown in New York. And so, I'm looking forward to Payday 3. I think Payday 3 will be my favorite game this year. So that's the game that I'm looking forward to, personally. I like crime games, gangster games, robber games, heist games. Those are the type of games that I like the most. Those are my favorite games, personally. Do you think the professionals are going to be the only enemies in the Mercenaries DLC? They are the only gang in GTA Online that look like mercenaries. Well, you have Merryweather too, JD. But the professionals aren't really mercenaries. The professionals are kind of like the 7 in Kane and Lynch. Have you ever played Kane and Lynch Deadman the 7? The professionals are just like the 7 in Kane and Lynch Deadman. And that's the thing about that is that the professionals might have actually been inspired by the 7 in Kane and Lynch. But they're basically a heist gang. That's what they are. If I get around to it, I might play Jedi Survivor. Let's go to my moonshine business here. You mean contract killers? The 7 aren't really contract killers. The 7 are more just like a heist gang. Like, they steal stuff. They organize robberies and they steal stuff together. I'm pretty positive that the first Spider-Man is in Manhattan. Miles Morales adds Harlem, and Spider-Man 2 will be 2 times as big as Spider-Man 1, adding Queens plus Brooklyn. I'm very curious to see Queens, because the thing about that is that Queens might not work in a Spider-Man game. And the reason that Queens might not work in a Spider-Man game is because Queens and Staten Island are both the least urbanized boroughs. Like, Brooklyn and Bronx are much more urbanized than Staten Island and Queens is. Queens is oftentimes called a suburb of New York. That's what, when people, for example, I can sell the moonshine here. So I'm from Brooklyn, New York, but I grew up a huge chunk of my life in Queens also. And I'll tell you that in GTA 4, there's a joke in GTA 4 that only New Yorkers would really understand. And the joke is, in the Ballad of Gay Tony, Bulgarin lives in Dukes, which is based on Queens. That's what Dukes is based on. He lives near, the neighborhood that Bulgarin lives in, the house that he got for his sister. That's based on Forest Hills, New York, Queens. That's what that neighborhood is based on. It's a suburban neighborhood. It's a fancy neighborhood. A lot of more wealthier people live in that neighborhood. Now, about it is Bulgarin's sister starts yelling at him and says to him, why did you take me to Dukes? Like, nobody lives in Dukes and stuff like that. Basically, what that's making fun of is that Queens is oftentimes referred to as a suburb of New York City. That's what Queens is referred to. Even though Queens is technically a part of New York City, Queens is referred to as a suburb, not really part of New York City. And so that's what they're making fun of Dukes in GTA 4. That's basically that whole New Yorker thing. That's pretty much what it's about. But that's what I'm saying is that in a Spider-Man 2, if they are gonna add, Queens to it, I don't know where Spider-Man would really swing, because the buildings are gonna be a lot lower. Like, if you look at the average height of the buildings in Brooklyn and the average height of buildings in Queens, the average height of buildings in Brooklyn are much higher than the average heights of buildings in Queens. There's a lot lower, much more residential areas in Queens, and so there wouldn't really be that many places for him to swing around in. So that's what I'm just curious about, how that would work exactly. Let's see here. Moonshine. We'll sell it moonshine here. Bert Higgins. No, that's the only one. I'm gonna save it for now. Okay. Well, Peter Parker is from Queens, I think, originally. Like, in the original Spider-Man movies where Aunt May lives, that's Queens in the original Spider-Man movies. So that was like, I'm pretty sure that he lived in Queens in the original Spider-Man movies before he moved into that apartment, in Manhattan. Would you ever shave head to look professional? What do you mean, DJ? Thank you for the super chat. And thank you, Aussie guy. GTA 6 will come out in the next millennium at this rate. Yeah, well, GTA 6 is probably not going to come out until at least next year. Thank you, Jackie. Hope the new jet has a new weapon like guided bombs. I don't mind if the new jet has the ability to drop bombs. Thank you, Jackie. Pro's GTA Online character was kicked out of the pros. Well, thank you, Mr. Waifu. Yeah, and then he went to go build his own empire. Do I like Brooklyn-style pizza? I love New York pizza. Pro, come on. In the Ultimate Spider-Man game, Queens was part of the world map. Well, I don't remember Ultimate Spider-Man. I'm sorry. What I'm just saying is that Queens would not have many places to swing from, personally, if they're at it in a Spider-Man 2. Shang-Chi and Kane Lynch is probably going to break them both in mentally rather than physically if he had the way himself. Much worse fate. Do you know how Kane and Lynch 2 ends, by the way, JD? By any chance? Do you know what's going to happen or not? Because if you don't, you're going to be in for a lot of more stuff still going to happen in the storyline. Wait, what's misinformation, Jackie? Oh, that GTA 6, you know, they're not gonna cancel GTA 6. No, no, no. That would be stupid. Now, if Rockstar actually canceled GTA 6, that'd be the stupidest business decision any video game company has ever made in their lives. If GTA 6 were to be canceled, that'd be the dumbest thing any video game company's ever done. Thoughts on Angry Joe's rating of Kane and Lynch 2? I disagree. I don't think that... I like Angry Joe, don't get me wrong. I like a lot of his content and his videos. Angry Joe at least speaks from the heart and what he thinks about the games, but I think he was just wrong on Kane and Lynch 2. I don't think he gave the game a fair rating. Like, he spent so much time bashing the single player in his review. I did see his review of Kane and Lynch 2, but he barely talked with the multiplayer, which the multiplayer in Kane and Lynch 2 is one of the best multiplayers I've ever played. Definitely. The multiplayer is so much fun in Kane and Lynch 2. And I'm going to do a video on the multiplayer when I beat the story, don't worry. But the multiplayer is a lot of fun in Kane and Lynch 2, and he spent barely any time talking about it. He just talked a little bit about the multiplayer is fun, and then I remember he said, like, if you're gonna get the game, get it for multiplayer, but then he said, speaking of which, don't get the game. So I think that's, like, what he said. But, you know, what I will agree with Angry Joe on is I'll agree with him that the game was way too short. That's what I agree with him on. If I was to give Kane and Lynch 2 a rating, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. If the story was actually longer, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. But I'll give it a 7 out of 10. And that's primarily because of just the fact it's 4 hours. It is 4 hours. It's a 4-hour storyline. It's a very short game. It feels rushed at times, so that's what I'll say is, but the story itself in Kane and Lynch 2, those 4 hours were actually fun. Even though it wasn't that long, the 4 hours were fun. The ending in Kane and Lynch 2 is kind of bad. I will kind of agree with Joe on that. But the thing is, I wouldn't have minded the ending personally if they did a Kane and Lynch 3. That's the thing about it. But since they didn't do a Kane and Lynch 3, then yeah, I would agree that it's not that good of an ending. And what Angry Joe was wrong about is the shaking camera, because you can turn the shaking camera off in the options. I don't know how so many reviewers missed that personally. The moral lesson in Kane and Lynch Dog Days is that they are both literally the catalyst of everything happening around them. I know what happens. Okay, JD. Yeah, when you really think about that, Lynch says, why do people always die around us? So they themselves don't die, but they always cause a bunch of problems. And so, like, the thing is, though, when you really think about it, the entire storyline in Kane and Lynch 1, you're right on this, JD. The entire storyline in Kane and Lynch 1, every bad thing that happened in Kane and Lynch 1 was Kane's fault. Every bad thing that happened in Kane and Lynch 1. Because he was the one who ultimately ran off with the Seven's money. We don't know whether he truly betrayed them or not, but it's hinted that he did betray them. But, you know, because he ran off with the Seven's money, that basically led to that whole series of events of all those bad things happening. And then in Kane and Lynch 2, everything that pretty much happens is Lynch's fault when you think about it, because he's the one who decided to go and confront Brady. Kane did help him with that, but that was Lynch's idea in the first place, and that basically led to that whole mess of everything that happened in the storyline. So that's, so yeah, when you really think about it, Kane causes all the bad things to happen in the first game, and Lynch causes all the bad things to happen in the second game. So yeah, that is a good point. Yeah, arcade mode was a bit fun, but it's always the funnest playing it with people, Mr. Waifu. Sad that IO lost the rights to Kane and Lynch. That's true. And the thing about it is, you want to know what I think? I think that IO Interactive does want to make a Kane and Lynch 3. I think they actually do. But they can't. Because they lost the rights to it. Square Enix has those rights to it now. And Square Enix isn't going to make a Kane and Lynch 3. And even if they did, I wouldn't trust them. I trust IO to make it. But the reason I know that IO are still massive fans of Kane and Lynch, if you go into the Hitman games, the newer Hitman games, there's so many Kane and Lynch Easter eggs. So many in them. And they wouldn't have put all those Kane and Lynch Easter eggs in them if they weren't fans of that game. So I do think that IO Interactive would love to make a Kane and Lynch 3. But unfortunately they can't because Square Enix owns it, which sucks. Which we might never get a proper ending to the Kane and Lynch series. Do you work out? Yeah, I do, usually 3 days a week. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2's main story, not including DLC, is around 4 hours or a bit more. It's start of Dragon Ball Z to Resurrection F. I don't know why stories are so short these days. Like, if you look at, for example, Red Dead Redemption 2, that's a 40-hour storyline. That's, 10 times longer. And that's only counting really the single player. If you do all the side activities, that's what, another probably 30, 40 hours. All the missions and side activities. Let's see. Thank you, Melon, for sponsoring my channel. How does Square Enix own Kane and Lynch? Square Enix was IO Interactive's publisher. And a few years ago, Square Enix dropped IO Interactive. And IO Interactive was able to keep Hitman, which I think Square Enix really regretted that they were able to keep Hitman, because Hitman is IO Interactive's bread and butter. That's where they make most of their money from. So they were able to keep Hitman, but Square Enix got Kane and Lynch instead. And so Square Enix has Kane and Lynch, and that I would love to see a third Kane and Lynch game, but unfortunately they can't make it. I'm not ignoring you, Mr. Animator. There's a lot of people that are posting. Does anybody need to sell anything, by the way?
I'm gonna check my moonshine shop.
No.
Alright, I'm gonna check my moonshine shop. Probably do.
Damn. Missed them. Okay. At the end of GTA 3, after Catalina gets killed, do you think Claude is the most evil character in the 3D GTA universe? Yeah, I do. Claude really has no limits, and he'll do whatever he feels like doing. As long as he's getting paid, he doesn't care what he has to do. That's why I say Claude is, Claude I would say is the most evil, oh, not the wilderness camp. I'm wrong one here. Okay. Claude doesn't care about anybody. There's nobody that really Claude cares about when you think about it. Yeah, they did, Fernando. That's what really sucks.
Hey, Pro, I got moonshine ready to be sold.
Okay, one moment. I'll help you with that in a second here. What do you think about GTA protagonist overall? Thank you, Jackie. I like all the protagonists, every single one of them, even Claude. Even Claude, despite him not saying anything, he's still like, he's still the most ruthless and cold-blooded GTA protagonist. So yeah, I like all of them pretty much when you think about it. My favorite one is probably Nico. I like Nico the most. I just like his background. He came from a, he came from a horrible war. He's a broken character. I like his backstory. So Nico would probably be my favorite one.
I'm gonna go with Tommy Versailles. Yeah,
Thank you,
Tommy
Y How,
Versailles
also
all
for
the
that
way.
super chat earlier.
I guess I like Franklin. I mean, he's rather sane, and at least he does really well later in life.
In the gameplay reveal, we only saw combat when we saw Queens, so I do get your point. When you see gameplay, I'm sure you'll understand it better. Well, I'll have to take a look at what Queens looks like, because I grew up a huge chunk of my life in Queens, so I'll have to see what Queens looks like in Spider-Man 2. Curious on that. Yeah, I saw it now, Binded Eagle. Thank you. Thank you for that super chat.
Well, Tommy Versailles did give me the Tony Montana. I think I pronounced his last name right. Yeah, he did give me the vibes of Tony Montana.
Why was Ryder willing to kill Ballas, but Big Smoke wasn't? Because I think that Big Smoke saw the potential of them being his muscle, but I don't think Ryder cared, personally, about stuff like that. Let me join. You need okay, you need help selling something, right?
Yeah.
Can you teleport me inside the moonshine business?
Sure.
Thank you.
With posse.
I highly doubt that Square Enix is even gonna make Kane and Lynch 3. They won't do it. It's been 13 years since the last game. When did why did IO lost the rights to Kane and Lynch? They dropped because Square Enix dropped them. Las Almas versus Santa Blanca. Santa Blanca, I think, would still win that. Yeah.
I mean, Square Enix is kind of preoccupied with Final Fantasy right now.
Yeah, I doubt that Square Enix would want to make Kane and Lynch. They probably don't even know anything about Kane and Lynch, even though they own the rights to it. How much do you think the new jet will cost? 2 to 3 million, maybe possibly even 4, but I can't see it being more than that. There's probably gonna be a trade price on the new jet if you complete the new missions. It's probably gonna be that.
My most hated antagonist in GTA, well, besides Lance, I'm gonna go with Sonny.
Well, yeah, Sonny was a scumbag. He screwed Tommy over. Tommy was loyal to Sonny the entire time, and Sonny just screwed him over.
Yeah. I would be that pissed, and I would just go after Sonny. I would just kill him if I was, well, if I was in that position.
Okay. Let's get to this drop. Lihoni shotguns. Yeah, those are scary. Yeah, I agree with you. Those shotguns are terrifying. Most shocking death in The Sopranos? I would say probably Tracy's death. Even though Tracy was such a minor character, like, you know, she was just on screen one moment, and then Ralph just beat the crap out of her and killed her. That was such a brutal scene. So I'd say Tracy's death probably is the most shocking one.
Hey, you probably wanna know what's my favorite, like, gangster movie? Like, mafias or stuff?
What's that?
Scarface.
Yeah, Scarface is a great one. I'd want a Red Dead Redemption 2 prequel. We know the gang better. I don't know. I don't know if I'd really want to see a, I wouldn't want to, I don't know if I'd want to see another prequel, because Red Dead Redemption 2 was really a prequel to Red Dead Redemption 1, and then so we would have a prequel to, you know, to the last game, which was a prequel. Honestly, I would like to see a Red Dead game set a little bit more in the future now. I'd like to see it set during World War I, like maybe the 1920s, maybe like around that. The main character in that game should be Jack. Jack should be the main character, and he would be the tie-in between all 3 games. So that would, I think it should be Jack, personally.
Oh, well, I'd like to see that story. That'd be so interesting.
You said that YouTube can change somebody's life for the better. Would you also say that it can change somebody's life for the worst? Yeah, to an extent. It would be that if, I mean, what I will say is that YouTube was good to me and helped me a lot, and got me through like a lot of stuff, because working on YouTube is not easy, but it's much better, much better, and I have much less stress than when I worked in retail. When I worked in retail, that's the most stress that I've had before. What I'll say about this is there was times when I was on YouTube when I kind of didn't even know my own channel, really, when I was times on YouTube, because and this was like years ago. And the reason I say this is because I did cover this in my video, but what basically happened is, whenever I used to be mainly a GT Online channel, that's all I did was just GT Online. And while I don't regret all the GT Online content I made, I never regretted that. The one thing that I did regret, though, is that I didn't invest as much time into other games as the same time that I was doing GT Online. And the reason that I never invested other time in other games besides GT Online in the past was because it was the fact that GT Online was bringing me the most views, and I was just thinking to myself, I should just do GT Online because that's what people want to see, and it's the most popular one, and I just didn't have time to do the other content. But then when I started doing like other content, I decided, like, I want to play other games because I was getting like seriously burnt out of GT Online, and I wanted to play other content. What happened was I had like people that were just like complaining to me, and like every single video, it was like, you don't really see it anymore today, guys. It almost never happens anymore today, because like, for example, my Kane and Lynch 2 videos that I'm posting, if you notice, most of the comments on the Kane and Lynch 2 videos, like 95% of them, have nothing to do with GT Online. Like, it's mostly focused on Kane and Lynch 2. But if I played Kane and Lynch 2 on my channel, like two years ago, 2.5 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I would have just people just basically posting things like, stop playing this crap game, play GT Online. Why are you playing this? Where's GT Online? You better play GT Online right now or I'm gonna unsubscribe. It was just comments like that, and it was just, the playthroughs were getting spammed. Like, it was spammed with just GT Online comments, with just people complaining, like, why are you not playing GT Online? And it was just like that. And what happened was, it was getting me frustrated, but it was also getting other people frustrated, because other people were trying to enjoy my playthroughs. They were trying to enjoy the game that I was playing, and then they see all these comments and they get annoyed. And that's why when you look at my old playthrough videos from like years ago, I post a pinned comment. I say, please don't ask GT Online questions here, because for me, that would personally get me like a bit annoyed. Not that people were asking me questions, but if I, for example, if I put like a lot of work into like making like a video, like I'll give you guys a perfect example. Like, I made a video on Call of Duty Cold War, and the video actually got kind of popular. It was a guide on Cold War, on Call of Duty, and it was a guide on how to solve the puzzles in Cold War. And like, when I first posted it, it only got like 2,000, 3,000 views in a day. That's it. But like, now 2 years later, I come back to it, I think it's like 60,000 views. So it has grown considerably in the last 2 years. And when I work hard to like make a guide like that, and then I look at all the comments, and like, most of the comments on there are just asking me, like, professional, what's the best business I should buy in GT Online and stuff like that. And while I don't have a problem answering questions like that, when I see that on a video that has nothing to do with GT Online, when I see that like on a Call of Duty video, a video that I spent like a few days making a guide on, and I put a lot of work into a guide, and I see a question like that, I basically think to myself, I'm like, the person that posted this comment asking me about GT Online, they don't care at all for the video that I made here. They're just hoping that I respond to them because it's my latest video. And that's like, that bothered me a bit, when I saw stuff like that. That's why I would only answer GT Online questions on GT Online videos, specifically because of that, because it's related to the video. So I personally didn't like that too much when people were doing that. But those were some of the nicer comments. The more meaner comments were very toxic, just saying like, why are you not playing GTA and stuff like that. And it was getting me a bit frustrated. And so what ended up happening to me is I basically felt like I was trapped in this endless box. And I felt like I was inside this box, and then I couldn't get out of it, and I was only trapped to do nothing but GT Online. Because if I kept doing GT Online, I was gonna get burnt out of it really badly, and my content was gonna suffer. But if I started doing other games, which I wanted to do, I would have loads of people complaining and just insulting me. And eventually, I was like getting really fed up, and I was like so close to quitting, like actually quitting YouTube. Like this was like maybe like 2019, 2020. I was like getting really close to quitting YouTube, and I wasn't like gonna delete my channel or anything like that. I had no plans to do that, but I was gonna stop making videos. That's what I was considering doing, because of just the fact that just when I tried to do any other game besides GTA Online, it wouldn't get as many views. It wouldn't, and then the few views that I would get on that video, it was people would just be complaining and just insulting me. Where's GTA? And so that's hopefully I answer your question why you ask me if YouTube can make somebody's life better or worse. For the most part, it made it better for me, but it was also I had some really tough times too. And, it got me in a really down mood when I saw stuff like that. And it eventually got to the point where I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to play whatever game I feel like playing. And, oh, wow, got through that there. And I basically said to myself, I'm going to play whatever game I feel like playing on my channel. And, and I know there's going to be people who are going to support me and like my content. And if there's going to be people that are just going to be unhappy, well, they're just going to have to deal with that. That's just what I was saying to myself. Because in the end, it's my channel. I created this channel. I upload the videos on this channel. I don't have an editor. I make all my thumbnails. I make all my videos. Everything. I do everything on my own. And I was just basically thinking to myself, if I'm uploading and I'm putting all this stuff on my channel, then I have the right to decide what kind of content I want to put on my channel. However, though, the problem with that is that there's so many people on YouTube, when they watch a YouTube channel and they think that they have the right to dictate to that channel what that channel can and can't do. I'm not saying that people can't make suggestions. I'm not saying that people can't say, they can't say like, oh, can you please make a video on that? That's fine. I'm always open to suggestions. But the thing is, I have a problem when people like show up to a video and then they say, I want you to make this, or I want you to do this, or don't play this, do this. Like, stuff like that. When they're getting all demanding like that, that's like, I'm like basically thinking to myself, I'm like, why exactly? This is my channel, not your channel. I can do what I want to do on my channel. And so that's, those people, they were getting me annoyed, they were getting me in a down mood. And what eventually, I just basically said, I'm going to do what I want to do. And what happened was, I had those people, they were complaining. Anybody who's been watching my channel for years, you know what I'm talking about. You remember when this happened. There was people that were just complaining, insulting me, just like, saying dumb things to me, threatening to unsubscribe constantly. And I didn't give into it. I didn't. I said, I'm going to keep doing what I want to do. And I did lose a lot of subscribers. I did. I lost thousands of subscribers by not giving into those complaints. But what ended up happening is, I'm actually very happy I didn't give into those complaints. Because I attracted a wider audience, and there's a lot of people that subscribe to me. I have had thousands of people that subscribe to my channel just from the playthroughs. Like, those cosplay playthroughs that I do? I've had thousands of people that subscribe to me through that alone. So they know me through the playthroughs. They don't even know me through GTA money guides or anything like that. They know me through the playthroughs. So that's why when you look at the comment section of my videos today, most of the videos are, you don't have people complaining where's GTA content or any of that stuff. You have people who are generally supportive of all the content. Like, some content is more popular than others, but people are still generally supportive of what I do. My GTA lore videos are still the most popular content on my channel, don't get me wrong. But I don't have people, coming to my videos and just saying, where's GTA Online, or play GTA Online, or stuff like that. And what I personally think happened is one of two things happened. The people that were complaining, where's the GTA Online content, they either gave up and accepted that I was going to play what I wanted to play, or they unsubscribed. It was either one of the two. But I'm going to say this is, if I have, if you're a YouTuber, and you have somebody, come to your channel and they basically say to you, you better play this game or I'm going to unsubscribe, let that person unsubscribe. That's just what I'll say about it, because that is not, I don't consider a person like that to be a fan. If somebody basically bullies you and then just says to you, play this, do this, or I'm going to unsub or stuff like that, that's not a fan. Like, a fan would come to your channel and say, hey, like, professional, could you make a GTA Online video? I'd really appreciate it. That'd be fine. But if somebody's coming to my channel and just saying, like, stop playing Kane and Lynch, it's a crap game, play GTA, and gonna unsub, that's not really a fan. That's not somebody. That's somebody that watches my channel for content. They like GTA content, but they don't watch my channel for me personally. So that's what I'll say is I wouldn't consider that person a fan. Somebody who does something like that and just threatens to unsubscribe just because you post a different video, that's it. You should yeah, that's pretty much what I'll say about stuff like that is I don't consider somebody like that to be a fan who does something like that to you. I'll tell you something. I had a guy I told this story a few years ago, but I was doing a Sniper Elite V2 Not the one that I did last year, but when I was doing it in 2019, because I did 2 playthroughs. I did one in 2019. And Sniper Elite V2 released remastered, and I really like Sniper Elite. And I'm really good at the Sniper Elite games. Like, I'm really good at those games. And so I thought that if I made playthroughs on Sniper Elite and I showed how good I was, because I was playing on the hardest difficulty, I thought that if I did videos playing on the hardest difficulty, I thought that a lot of people would appreciate that. But unfortunately, I had a lot of people that were complaining and being rude and nasty. And there was this one guy that I'll never forget this. You know, he comes to my, my Sniper Elite video. And this is, like, right after I posted a GT Online video. So I posted a GT Online video, and then literally, like, that exact same day, I posted a Sniper Elite video. And he comes to the Sniper Elite video, and he just, like, complains and says, if you post one more Sniper Elite video and not GTA, I'm gonna unsubscribe. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what the hell, dude? Like, I just posted a GT Online video, like, a few hours ago. It's like, I just posted a Sniper Elite video just now. Like, what's the problem here exactly? What's going on? And what happens is, I reply to this guy, and I say to this guy, I'm like, you know what? Like, you know, I hate to see anybody unsubscribe, but if you're gonna unsubscribe, just go ahead and do it, dude. That's, like, basically what I replied to him. I was trying to be nice to him. I didn't curse at him or yell at him, but I just said to him, you know, I'm gonna do what I want to do on my channel. This is my channel, and I decide what I'm gonna do. And, you know, if you don't like it, then I guess unsubscribe. You know, I hate to see anybody go, but I'm not gonna be told what I can and can't do on my channel. And then he replies to me, and he gets all defensive. He gets all defensive when he replies to me. And he says to me, but I've been subscribed for 2 years. That's what he says to me. And I reply to him, I say, okay, I appreciate you being subscribed for 2 years, but that doesn't give you the right to basically just demand stuff on my channel and just, you know, insult me like this. If you don't want to watch my other content, don't watch it. And if you're getting that upset, then unsubscribe. That's like, but he got all defensive because he didn't expect me to say that to him. He didn't expect me to say that, okay, then, you know, go ahead and do it. Because he thought that I was just going to give in and just say that I was just going to do GT Online content. But what happened was, I checked that exact same comment, like literally like a day or 2 later. He deleted all of his comments. All of his replies, they were all deleted, everything. And I didn't know what happened. And then like a few days later, I posted another Sniper Elite video, and that exact same guy who threatened to unsubscribe posted on the comments, and he said, wow, this game is really cool. You're really good at this game. Can you please post more of this game? And stuff like that. And I replied to the guy, and I said to him, didn't you threaten to unsubscribe from me like a few days ago? What happened? Now you like this game all of a sudden? And he says to me, yeah, but that was before I decided to give the game a chance. I decided to give the game a chance, and I started watching it, and I really liked your gameplay. I like the X-ray kill cams. They're really cool in this game. Can you do more of it? And basically, at that point, I was basically thinking to myself like this. I was like, oh my god. Like, I was like, if you actually gave the game a chance, if you gave the game a chance in the first place and just watched the game before leaving angry, annoying comments, then you wouldn't have been like this in the first place. So that's the thing is, the problem is, people are not open to change. People aren't open to change. They just expect to see the same thing over and over and over again, and they're so hostile to change. They're so against change. And so if he actually took the time and actually watched me play the game, maybe he would have actually enjoyed it, which he actually claims he did. I don't know if it was a troll. Maybe it was a troll, but, you know, but I also believe it at the same time that it possibly could have been, real. But that's what I say, is that was just, it was just a ridiculous scenario. And I know I answered your question pretty long, but I hope that answers your question for somebody asking me, like, can YouTube change somebody's life for the worst? I dealt with really stressful moments like that on YouTube, you know, stuff like that. But, you know, eventually I stopped giving into it, and I said, you know what, this is my channel, and I am gonna do, I'm gonna do what I want to do on my channel. And so I hope I answered your question. Like, I don't watch all the content you post, but I don't act toxic when you post content I'm not interested. And that's perfectly fine, Mario. That is perfectly fine. That is a completely valid, reasonable, you know, view to have. And look, I'm subscribed to a lot of YouTube channels. I don't watch all their videos. I only watch the videos that I'm interested in. That's it. But what I never do is I never go to another YouTube channel's like videos. Like, if there's a YouTube channel and and I watch some of their content, but I'm not interested in their other content, I don't go to their other content and just complain and say, I want you to post this. I never do that. And I don't threaten to unsubscribe. I certainly don't do stuff like that. But, you know, people do that all the time. There's another collectible in here somewhere. Let's see. Where is it? But yeah, not watching the content that you're interested in, that's perfectly fine. I don't expect people to watch everything. I only want people to watch what they're interested in. Only what they're interested in, personally. The only issue I have is when people complain and they cause scenes on, like, videos, and they get all annoyed.
Never knew it.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, I'll do a 100% stream on San Andreas eventually. But yeah, people could get really toxic to me in the past. It was a bit ridiculous when that happened. Vice City Stories 100% stream. I'll resume it in June sometime. I probably missed a bunch of comments here. Hey guys, you still open? Guy after Tracy dies. Yeah, in The Sopranos, I remember that. Tracy pulled up. I mean, not Tracy, the guy pulled up to the club and asked if they were still open. And that was right after Tracy died. When are we getting Pro vs. Lola Part 2 on PS5? Wait, what? What? Blinded Eagle? I'm a bit confused. And thank you, Maurizio. Hey, Pro, you may have answered this already, but do you think there will be one last heist? I think the last update would be one big heist, a new location. I think a new location like Cayo Perico, I think that would be a perfect thing. Hey, Pro, I may have answered this already, but do you think there'll be, that... Oh, okay, sorry, I just read it a second time. I'm just losing my track of thought. But, Maurizio, yeah, also, do you think that... also, thank you so much for your guides on grinding back in 2019. I made serious cast. No problem, Maurizio. Sorry, I read it twice. I'm just losing my track of thought, trying to read a lot of comments a lot. But yeah, one new location. I think that's the best way to end GTA Online. The best way to end GTA Online would be a final new heist, like a big heist, like Cayo Perico, like a new location, and that new location, you know, somewhere you travel to. You know, not in Los Santos. So a brand new map, a new location. You know, it doesn't have to be a big place, but a new place that you travel to, you go to, and maybe add mansions in that. Like, actually mansions, what people wanted for a very long time. Pro, would you think about making streams, clips, videos? Your insights are very interesting, especially your insights on games, events. Yeah, possibly. I could do something like that, giving my opinion on certain things. I do when I play through when I do my streams. You guys will hear my opinion on a lot of things, and also on when I do playthroughs of games, I'll talk about stuff and like those games going on, and like what I think about stuff like that. I always like to, whenever I play games, I do like to compare things to the real world a lot of times. If you're not playing Hitman, would have never found you. Oh, okay, Ian. Yeah, and that was a good point, is that, you know, by playing different games on your channel, you are expanding your channel and you're attracting a wider audience by playing a lot of games on the channel. Because if you only play one type of game, your channel is going to grow at a rapid rate. It will. But tell me something now. I want to see if the chat, people probably know this in the chat. Channels that only play one type of game, the main advantage to those channels is that they grow the fastest. Channels that only play one type of game grow the fastest because you're attracting people that are only interested in that specific content. So it's a lot easier to grow a channel. That's why you see, you know, GTA channels, Call of Duty channels, for example, growing really fast because they only play one type of game and that one game is popular. But now let me ask the chat this question. What do you guys think happens to a channel when they're dependent on one game and that game stops making updates? What do you think happens to a channel like that that only makes content on one type of game, and that game just stops updating one day? The developer ceases, you know, support for that game. What happens to a channel like that? Does anybody know? Oh, the Akula Griefer. Oh, okay. I was just confused what you meant by Lola. Yes, their channels basically lose support. It pretty much happens. Their channels lose massive amounts of support. If you guys want proof of this, of why it's really bad to make a channel based on one game, check out the Call of Duty YouTubers. They're perfect examples of why making like content on one game is a bad idea. And I'm not talking about the current Call of Duty YouTubers. The current Call of Duty YouTubers are very popular. They do videos on Warzone and stuff like that. I'm talking about the old Call of Duty YouTubers. Like when I was a teenager, when I was like around 16 years old, when Modern Warfare 2 was out, when Modern Warfare 2 was out, there was YouTubers who had millions of subscribers who were doing like videos of Modern Warfare 2 and getting a lot of views, a lot. And they were only doing Modern Warfare 2. This is the 2009 game. They weren't doing anything else. If you go to those same channels today, they're still posting content today. But you have like a channel that has like 3 million subscribers. And that channel that posts like 3 million subscribers, they'll post a video and they'll get like 10,000 views in the entire week. For a channel that has 3 million subscribers, and you have just 10,000 views on the video in like a week, that's very bad. Now, why did that happen? How did the channel that has like 3 million subscribers go from that? It was because they kept doing content on the same game. They didn't expand. They didn't attempt to make their channel more diverse. And what happened was people lost interest in Modern Warfare 2. People got older. They started playing different games. They just lost focus. They just lost interest in Modern Warfare 2. And so they were starting to play other games. I mean, think about it. When you were a kid, when you were like, 16, do you still play all the same games that you did when you were like 16 years old or even 14? No, you might play some similar games, sure, but you probably play a wide array of games now, much more games than you did when you were a kid. And so that's exactly what happened, is their audience grew up and they moved on to different content. And I'm telling you that this thing happened to Battlefield YouTubers. If you look at Battlefield YouTubers, they were doing Battlefield content constantly doing Battlefield content, and they didn't want to do anything else, and then Battlefield 5 just cut support. All of a sudden. That came out of nowhere. Nobody expected Battlefield 5 to cut support like that. People thought they were still going to add the Soviet Union to Battlefield 5. They never added the Soviet Union to Battlefield 5. So they were, so that never happened. They just cut support all of a sudden. And those Battlefield channels were in trouble at that point. Their views dropped. And the same thing happened to Star Wars Battlefront channels. Channels that only did Star Wars Battlefront. Star Wars Battlefront channels had a little bit easier than Battlefield channels because Star Wars Battlefront channels could at least move on to other Star Wars content. Because Star Wars is like a whole big thing of stuff. But, that's what I'm saying is, and you look at Red Dead channels, too. A lot of Red Dead channels, they're not doing too well anymore. And, it's because it's Red Dead. Rockstar abandoned the game. Rockstar screwed the game over. My friend PvP Cats, he's actually doing really good right now, and one of the reasons that he's doing really good right now is because he's actually expanding his channel. He's playing like GTA and other games, and I think that's a great idea for his channel because of the fact that he's doing Grand Theft Auto also, and a lot of Red Dead players play Grand Theft Auto, so it's a great idea for him to expand into GTA. But there are other Red Dead channels that never made an attempt to play any other content besides Red Dead. I did Red Dead on my channel, but I also did other content. So that's what let's say is that it's not a good idea to do content on just one type of game, because sure, you might get views really quickly and you might get a lot of subscribers, but eventually when that game cuts support, because it is going to happen, those channels are going to suffer if they didn't. But when you expand to other content, you have a wide array of content to cover. Like for example, like Rockstar could make a post on Newswire tomorrow. And they're posting on Newswire, they could say that the Mercenaries update that's coming out is our final update. They could just do that. That's not going to happen. I don't think so. But Rockstar could do that, and they could say, Mercenaries is our final update. It's coming out, and we're not going to post any more updates. If they did something like that, sure, it would suck. But I wouldn't be too concerned with that personally on my channel, because my channel, I do a lot of different content, and I still have plenty of lore content that I can make on different games. So I don't have any, concern with the last GTA update coming out. But the thing about this is, a lot of GTA Online channels, they are doing just GTA Online and nothing but GTA Online. And the problem with this is that they're only looking at the present. That's the thing. They're looking at the present. They're not looking at the future. They're looking at, I'm getting a lot of views, I'm getting a lot of subscribers right now, and they're excited for that. And it is something to get excited about, don't get me wrong, but they're not thinking about the future. They're not thinking about, where's my channel going to be 5 years from now? They're not thinking about that. They're just thinking about all the subscribers and the viewers that they're getting right now from the GTA content. And what's going to happen is, if you don't have people that expand in other content and they don't try other games, one day Rockstar is going to cut support for GTA Online. It's going to happen. The exact same way it happened to Red Dead Online. It's going to happen eventually. It's not going to happen right now, at least, but this December might be the final DLC, when you really think about it, because every DLC is getting smaller and smaller now, and this December could be the last DLC. So this summer is not going to be the last DLC. It would be, if it was the last DLC, Rockstar would tell us it's the last DLC. So this winter might actually be the final GTA Online DLC. And then what's going to happen? Let's just say, for example, that this winter is the final GTA Online DLC. What would happen to GTA channels that only do GTA Online? What's going to happen at that point is, if they do content on the final DLC, let's just say it's winter, they will get lots of views. a lot of views. They'll get a huge ton of views. They'll get a huge spike in views. They'll get a lot of subscribers for like the first month or two after the update comes out. But once winter break ends, people go back to school and they go back to work, and that game is not getting any more content. Late January and February, their channels are going to drop in views a lot. Their channels are going to drop in views. And they're still going to keep the same amount of subscribers. It's not like people are going to start unsubscribing, but their viewers are going to drop. People are going to be less interested. And just think about it, guys. Like, even my channel, which I do a lot of GTA Online channel, like, would you be watching my channel as much if GTA Online just died in, like, 2015? Let's say that GTA Online in 2015, 2016 released its final update. Like, would you have watched my channel for as long? I think a lot of people probably wouldn't have, and I don't blame them either for it. Because I was doing primarily GTA Online years ago, and there wouldn't really be that many things to watch a YouTuber for if they've pretty much covered everything. So that's what I'll say about it. Yeah, so no, I don't take that personally if somebody says that they wouldn't watch my channel as much if GTA Online didn't have updates. And I even asked people in a poll on that on a question. I asked, like, are you less interested in GTA Online? And you know, most people said that they generally like the YouTubers, that they like the YouTubers, they like the people that are making the videos, but they're just not as interested in GTA Online anymore. So it's not the YouTuber's fault. It's more that the game is just not as appealing anymore. And there's nothing the YouTuber can do about that. The YouTuber can't make the game more appealing. That's not the developer. That's on the developer to make the game more appealing. So that's what I'm ultimately saying, is that when GTA Online releases its final update, I highly recommend, because there's a lot of GTA Online channels that I like to, and I highly recommend that they start doing other games. They start trying other games. I'm not saying to give up GTA Online, but like, if you're posting like a ton of GTA Online videos, is it really gonna hurt to try posting like some videos on some different games, or streaming a few different games every now and then? It's not gonna hurt, and you're gonna build like a bigger audience. You're gonna build a wider audience, and it's gonna help you. And then when GTA Online cuts its support, you're gonna have something to fall back on. You're gonna have, other content that you're known for making. But if you're only known for making GTA Online content, and then GTA Online gets cut, and then you don't really have anything else to make content for, even if you start making new content at that point on different games, people aren't gonna be willing to give you as much of a chance at that, because you weren't expanding earlier as you were, and you're just known for just GTA Online. So that's what I'll pretty much say about that. My view on that.
Hello, Pat. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, man? Let me just read. I missed a bunch of super chats, so I'm just gonna here.
I just finished a volunteer job that I just did.
You finished what?
I just finished a volunteer work, and I'm heading on home right now.
Oh, okay. That's good, Michael. Hey, Pro, how you doing? Was music popular in Brooklyn, where you grew up, like rap or music like that? Yeah. Kids did listen to a lot of music, but they listened to it on iPods back then. Like, nobody really has iPods. Everyone listens to it on their phones now. But yeah, they were, kids were bringing iPods to schools. Will I do a walkthrough of Red Dead? Which one, Electric? You mean Red Dead Redemption 1? Or Red Dead Redemption 2? Or Red Dead Revolver? I'll still do a playthrough of them. And Undead Nightmare, yes. Thank you, Electric. Thank you for the super chat, man. We need to attempt... I'll do Red Dead Redemption 1 this year, by the way. We need to attempt a petition for Michael DLC. I think Rockstar pretty much knows it. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put my petition for GTA 4 remaster in the comments here. Let me do that here. Because I made a petition to remaster GTA 4. Let me see here. Where is it? Here it is. And I should start pinning that as my top pinned comment.
Hey, probably down for another bounty mission.
Sure, in a moment. Okay, and I pinned that. So I pinned it, guys. That is, my petition to get GTA 4 a remaster on PS5 and Xbox Series X. If you like GTA 4 as much as I do, sign the petition, share it with your friends. Help it grow. How is December the last update? GTA 6 is the name of a trailer. We are at least 2 years away. They're not going to stop making updates for 2 years. GTA 4 might come out in 2024. That's the year that it might come out in. And so they might just have like a one year pause between both games. And here's the thing about this, is if I was Rockstar, right? And I'm not saying that December is going to be the last DLC, Feline King. I appreciate the super chat, but I'm not saying it's not. Now, if I was Rockstar, I would stop GTA Online updates 1 year before GTA 6 comes out. Does anybody know why I would do that? Let me see if people know why I would do that. And it's not about diverting resources. It's not about that. It's, yep, people are kind of getting it. It's right there. It's to build hype. Now think about this, guys. Think about this. Let's say that GTA 6's release date. Let's just say, you know, I don't know this, but let's just say that GTA 6 comes out December 2024, right? Comes out for the holidays, or November 2024, like right around there, right? Now, if it came out in December of 2024, right? Would you want to make an update for GTA Online around that time? Because if you made an update for GTA Online around that time, I don't think it would pay off. Because there'd be a lot of people that would still play the GTA Online update, and then they would play they would get GTA 6 afterwards. So they wouldn't pick up GTA 6 right away. They would start, still keep playing GTA Online for the updates. So I would personally pause updates a year before GTA 6 comes out, so that people can get hyped up and they can get excited for the new game, and they want new content, they want something new to play. Because if you release an update right before the game comes out, still a ton of people are still going to play that update. So I would personally cut support for GTA Online a year before GTA 6 comes out. That's what I would do if I was Rockstar. Hey, Professional, I always wondered how you never got burnt out of GTA Online. I did get burnt out of GTA Online, Hambugler. That's why I stopped playing it for like nearly a year. I didn't stream it for nearly a year because I did get seriously burnt out of it. I did. But me getting burnt out of GTA Online, it was for several reasons. Like, it was a combination of things. It was like, I was getting sick of playing the same game over and over again. Like, I wanted to do other content. I had people constantly complaining to me to do GTA Online. And also, I had griefers that were joining me every single lobby, trying to repeatedly kill me over and over again. It was getting really annoying, frustrating, and like a combination of all that factors caused me to take a break from GTA Online for some time. I came back to GTA Online when we were able to sell invite-only sessions. That actually brought me back to GTA Online. That was personally one of my favorite updates. You know, the criminal enterprise, because you could sell in invite-only sessions, which I thought was a really good idea, a really great thing they did. Do you remember the GTA 6 hack? Yes, I do. So being able to sell invite-only sessions brought me back to the game, and taking a break from GTA Online made me happy because I was able to fully enjoy the game when I came back. When you upload videos on YouTube, do you record footage on your PS5 and upload them to your USB and put them on your computer, then upload them from your PC to YouTube? Hey, Phoenix. A lot of times, yes. A lot of times I personally find it easier to just use PS5 footage, my PS5 capture, and just put it on a USB stick. I use capture cards when I'm playing through doing playthroughs. So when I'm doing playthroughs, I always do a capture card every single time for that. But when I'm doing like top 5 videos, or I'm doing like lore videos, if it's a lore video on console, then I will use PlayStation Capture. And the reason for that is because if I'm trying to record something, like if I'm testing vehicles, for example, like vehicles, if I'm doing like a vehicle review on GTA Online, the PlayStation Capture helps me make the video faster than a capture card. And the reason for that is because, let's say that I'm doing like a speed test, right? And like I'm trying to test a new vehicle against another vehicle. Like my friend's in one vehicle, I'm in one vehicle, we're doing a speed test. If I use the capture card, I'm gonna be recording the whole thing. If somebody crashes during that speed test and we get like, there's like an accident and it just doesn't work out, like, you know, we have to restart the test, then that's already recorded. But if I'm just using PlayStation Capture, if we have like an accident, we messed up on some of the testing, I can just hit cancel, and so it doesn't save any kind of clip or anything like that. And so then I can just save what I need to save, and so that's why personally it speeds it up because of stuff like that. Thank you, Mr. Animator. I will play the classic GTA games one day. What are we doing here? Do you need to sell anything, by the way?
I must start the bounty mission.
Okay. Ready whenever you are.
Oh well. I'm going to deliver these few deers real quick.
Feed the horse? Oh, right. Okay. What's the most nutritious thing I can give the horse? A carrot. I know there's a remastered mod for Scarface, but every time I tried to use it, it didn't work. For me, personally. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. I have another GTA 5 lore video I'm working on right now, by the way. Do you think coworkers can be just as bad as customers sometimes? Oh yes, 100%. Sometimes coworkers can be even worse than annoying customers. Yeah, because coworkers you have to deal with on a daily basis. Customers you might only see once and occasionally. So if you have a bad coworker, you gotta deal with somebody constantly. That's I'm assuming you're talking about retail and any kind of job you work with customers. So yeah, that's what I would say about that. I had some pretty scummy coworkers at times. There were some coworkers that I didn't get along with, that I didn't like.
Customers.
Here's what I will give everyone a big piece of advice. I'll give everyone a big piece of advice here. For anybody that works in customer service, anybody who works in any kind of customer service, and that is, if you work in any industry that deals with customers, if you work in a mechanic shop, you work in a grocery store, retail, even a car dealership, any kind of place where you deal with customers, any kind of place like that. If you are a hard worker at that place and you know you do your job good and you're a really hard worker, you get everything done, you do everything right. If you encounter a scumbag customer, a customer who's just an absolute scumbag to you, they're just cursing at you, they're yelling at you for something that's completely out of your control, and you call your manager over, and your manager comes over, and your manager does not back you up on something like that, even though you know that you're in the right, if your manager doesn't back you up on something like that, find a new job. That's what I will say. Just get out of that job. Like, I know that it's not that easy, but just don't quit right on the spot, but just start looking for another job. That is the easiest way. If you work in customer service, that is the easiest way to tell if you have a good or bad manager, is just see how your manager reacts when you have a scumbag customer. If a customer's screaming at you, yelling at you, see how your manager reacts. If your manager has your back, that's a good manager to have. If your manager doesn't have your back, that's a scummy manager. That's what I'll say. Because I've seen a lot of managers where they will just apologize to the customer. Like, there's something that not even your fault at all. Customers will curse at you, yell at you, and your manager doesn't defend you, doesn't say, hey, don't talk to my employee like that. You talk to my employee like that, I'm going to kick you out of the store. If you have a manager like that, that's a good manager. If you have a manager that comes over, starts apologizing to the customer, oh, I'm sorry he did this, I'm sorry, I'll take care of you, that's a scumbag manager. That's somebody who doesn't care about their employees at all. All they care about is the customer's money. They don't care about whether you're treated like crap. So that's just what I'll say, is just find another job if you have a manager like this. It's a very easy way to tell if you have a good manager. If your manager backs you up when you need your manager, that's a good piece of advice I can give. Oh, I don't want to speak politics personally, Blinded Eagle. I just personally stay away from it. I do appreciate the super chat. Coworkers are terrible. Imagine working 20 pallets of heavy boxes while others only work 3 pallets, but your manager demands that you help them even though they're being lazy just so someone will help. Yep, I know exactly how you feel, Feline. And, thank you for the super chat. I have dealt with some... Let me just take a little bit of water here, but I've dealt with some really scummy coworkers like this.
I actually witnessed a real customer that was like arguing at this cashier. It was Karen, apparently, obviously.
Oh, if I'm in a store and I see a customer yelling at a cashier or an employee, I'll call that customer an idiot. I don't care. I don't work there. So I'll call that customer an idiot. Because what are they going to do? Complain to the manager if I don't work there? So that's, so if I see somebody being disrespected at a store, I'll personally argue with that person. I'll call that person an idiot, the customer. But that's, I have, this is the thing, is that, this is another good piece of advice that I can give you, Feline. A really good piece of advice. And thank you for the super chat. When you are at whatever job that you're at, work hard, but don't work too hard. That's what I mean by that. Is if you are not getting any kind of extra reward, if you're not getting an extra reward for doing an extra job, why do extra work? Especially, other people's work. That's what I will say about that is don't do whatever is in your job description. Look up what your job description is. Look at what the tasks that your job description has. Only do those tasks, but don't go above and beyond. Don't do that. Don't go above and beyond. There's no reason to go above and beyond, really, because oftentimes they don't give you a raise. They don't give you an extra money for going above and beyond. So why should you do more than your job description? Your job description is very specific, so there's really no need for that. So, Lily, if your manager is, giving you a hard time and saying to you, like, help this person with that, be like, that's not part of my job description. My job description is just this specific work. I'm not trying to get you fired or anything, so I don't know how your manager will react, but that's personally what I would do, is I would say at that point, I would say that's not part of my job description. Like, why should I do some other person's work if they're not picking up their work? So that's, and this is what I'll say is that my father, he told me that this happens all the time. If you notice, it's a common pattern. The employees that are lazy, the employees that don't do much, management doesn't really get on their case that much. But the employees that work really hard, management gets on their case. They do. And I'll give you a perfect example of why you don't want to work too hard. So when I worked in retail, right? We had this customer service program in the store that I worked at retail. And basically, if you submitted your email, you would get a 20% off coupon for submitting your email. And then the store would send you, more offers, more coupons, hoping that you would come back to shop. Now, the emails weren't really that spammy. It was only like a few offers that you would get a week, and it would actually help people save some money. But the thing about that is that our management really pushed us. They really pushed us to get people to sign up for these emails. And what happened was I was very convincing when I would get people to sign up for emails. Like, I wasn't really pushy, but I would tell people, like, hey, if you come in here, you shop a lot, sign up for this. I'll take 20% off your order right now, and you will get like more coupons in the mail, and so whenever you come back, you'll save even more money. And it was true, they were saving more money, but I convinced the most amount of people to sign up, and I had convinced more people to sign up than anyone else in the store. I had gotten Employee of the Month. I even got Employee of the Month for it. And Employee of the Month is the biggest joke ever, because Employee of the Month is garbage if you don't get anything for it. If all you get is a paper that says you're Employee of the Month, it's garbage. If you don't get a raise, you don't get any extra reward for it, you don't get a bonus, then Employee of the Month is useless. But that's basically what I did, is I convinced the most amount of people to sign up for it. And my manager was basically bragging about that. He was like, look, Patrick had gotten the most amount of people to sign up for it. He's Employee of the Month. I said, Patrick, I'm going to give you a good reward for this. And what ends up happening is, a few weeks later, I still got no reward. Nothing. No extra reward. And I talked to my manager, and I say to him, am I going to get something extra for those emails? I helped you out with that. And then he just says to me, he says, oh, right. And like he completely forgot. And he's like, there, I did it. Go log onto the portal tonight. And I logged onto my company portal. And do you know what my manager gave me for convincing the most amount of customers to sign up for that email program? He gave me a $5 store card. I'm not even joking. It's $5. And it's not even cash that I could use to the store. I convinced probably like 30 or 40 customers to sign up for the email program. And what did I get for that? I got a $5 store card. That's what I got. So that's exactly why I say is work hard, but don't work too hard. And literally at that point, what I started doing at that point after I got that $5 store card is I started saying to customers, do you want to sign up for the email program? And they would say no. I would say, okay, that's fine. I wouldn't tell them that, like, you know, you're saving or anything like that, because I just got demoralized at that point. I just felt like garbage. I felt like I was just used, which I was. And so that's like I stopped getting people to sign up for those emails. Like, you know, I didn't if they said no, then I didn't push it or anything like that. I wasn't like you know, I wasn't as persuasive. And so the what ended up happening is, guess what happened? Management only gives me a $5 store card for getting so many customers to sign up. But guess what happened? Guess what management did when I stopped getting customers to sign up? Guess what they did, guys? And chat will guess. If you know about it, maybe you can explain the new debt deal. Yeah, I just don't talk politics though. Blinded Eagle, but I barely. Oh, I'm really sorry that happened to you, Blinded Eagle. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, I haven't really dealt with bullies when I was in school, but I did deal with people that weren't very nice to me. Have you ever seen any dumb gaming articles? I seen a dumb gaming article, though I don't know if it was real or not. It might have been a parody, which was saying that GTA 6 is going to give you actual money for playing it, which is nonsense. Thank you, Mario. Simeon Yetarian type. Yup, just like that. No, I didn't get reprimanded. I didn't get that. I didn't get written up or anything like that. But the management basically went up to me and they said to me, Patrick, you're falling behind on emails. And do you know what my response to management was? My response to management is, I'm getting the exact same amount of emails as everyone else. Because I was getting the exact same amount as everyone else at that point. That's what I said to them. So they gave me no incentive to really work harder. But the thing about that is, I didn't know how to stand up for myself. I didn't. And if I was in that exact same position today, do you know what I would have said? I wouldn't have said that, oh, I'm getting the same amount of emails as everyone. I would have said, last time I started collecting emails, you promised me a big reward and you gave me a $5 gift card, so why should I collect more emails for you? And if you told me, then you're fired, I'd say, okay, I'm done. I'm walking out. I'm done. So that's what I would have done at this point. But back then, I didn't know how to stand up for myself. And so people took advantage of me all the time. So that's that's what I'll say is that, you know, work hard, but don't work too hard. That's it. You know, just do what your job description tells you. And, you know, and if you're really, you know, getting pissed off at your job, start looking for a new job at the same time. And when I finally ended up quitting in September of 2019, I quit. But here's the thing about that. Even though I was getting really frustrated in September of 2019, that's the last month that I was working, I knew I was going to quit that month. I just knew it. And when I was, when I had customers yell at me, like curse me out, do you know what I would say to them? I would say to them, like, sir, I'm trying to help you. If you keep being rude to me, I'm not going to help you. And if they kept yelling at me, I just walk away. I said, that's it. I'm not helping you. Find somebody else. That's what I would always say. And whenever I did that, they were very surprised. They were very, very surprised when I did that. Because, like, imagine that. The customer that's yelling gets all surprised when you walk away from them. Say, I'm not helping you anymore because you're being rude to me. Because, literally, they expect you just to sit there and take it. And they don't expect to actually talk back to them. And that's why they get really surprised when that happens. And so, that same month, I told my manager that I was quitting, and I wanted to put my 2 weeks in. Now, even though I was getting really pissed off, and I was getting really annoyed at my job, the reason I put my 2 weeks in and I didn't just want to walk out is because I've been working there for 6 years, and I wanted to leave on some good grounds at least. And there was some coworkers of mine I actually really liked. Some coworkers of mine were very nice to me and helped me out when I needed it. And so I didn't want to just walk out on them and just screw them over and just leave them one man short. I didn't want to do that. So the reason I put my 2 weeks in instead of just walking out was because I didn't want to screw over the people that were actually good to me at that job. So that's why I put 2 weeks in, just so they could at least find somebody to replace me. Okay, let's wait until like 5 minutes for this. Um... Yeah, Spec Ops The Line, I'll play that one day too. You need to become a U.S. Senator. I kind of feel the same way about my current boss. I don't trust them so much so that when they call me, even though I told them numerous times not to call but to text, I don't answer. Here's the thing about this. You are not required whatsoever to answer your phone during non-working hours. If you are off the clock, even if it's your break, you don't have to answer the phone. You don't have to do that. So that's what a lot of people don't understand is that management will harass you and ask you to come in when it's not working hours. And so you have no obligation whatsoever to answer a phone like that. Just remember that. Keep that in mind. You have no obligation, none, to answer a phone like that. I will tell you guys one story also. I had some coworkers of mine that were such scumbags. They were such massive scumbags at my job. And what these people would do, these coworkers, right? They wouldn't show up. And when they would show up, they wouldn't even be of much help. So they would just sit there and slack. They wouldn't really do anything. And they would constantly call out. Not even show up to work, not call. Just constantly, constantly call out all the time, over and over and over again. And what happened is, I would constantly get harassed. I would get texted. And I feel like the only reason management harassed me so much to come into work is because I was one of the few people that actually came in. And so what happened is, there was one week that I was working. And this is literally like the first or second month I started working there. So this is like really early in my job. This is like in 2013 when I first started working there. And so I was supposed to be working 3 days that week. But instead of working 3 days that week, I worked 6 days. Because I worked an extra 3 days in a row after that because there was people that were constantly calling out. They weren't coming into work. And so what ended up happening is my manager texts me and just says to me, I need you to come in. This person didn't come in. And it wasn't ever, Patrick, can you please come in? I would owe you one. It's never like that. It's always, I need you to come in. It's like a demand, more of it, even though I'm off. And so what happens is, I work an extra 3 days. So I worked 6 days in a row for him. And then the 7th day, I thought I was finally going to have a day off. I made plans with my friends. I'm literally about to go to my friend's house to hang out with my 2 friends. Manager texts me and says to me, I need you to come in right now. And I called him back. And I said to him, like, what's going on here exactly? He's like, this person didn't come into work. I need you to come in right now. And I said to him, I worked 6 days in a week this week. Today's my day off. I made plans to hang out with my friends. You know what he says to me? He says to me, cancel them. And I say to him, no. I worked already 6 days in a week. I'm going to go hang out with my friends today. Get somebody else. I've already covered 3 extra shifts for you this week for people not showing up to work. This is not my responsibility. And he says to me, you're not coming in. I said, no, I'm not coming in today. And then he says to me, you suck, and just hung up on me. That was it. I didn't get a write-up or anything like that, but getting that kind of response, he should have been grateful that I came in those 3 extra days and helped him out when I wasn't even working. Just to get that kind of response, the one day I can't come in because I'm hanging out with my friends, I actually made plans with people, and I covered so many shifts for him that week, is what a scumbag. So that's just, my God, that's just, these people constantly expect you to come in, always. Whenever you're off. And you know what irritates me so much? Management tries to guilt trip you. They try to make it seem like it's your fault or something like that. Like, oh, if you don't come in, we're gonna be shorthanded or something like that. Well, it's not my fault somebody didn't show up to work. It's my day off today. So, why am I responsible for people not showing up to work? And that was the time I had the scumbag manager. Now, the second manager that I got was actually a nice guy, and he tried to do right by his workers, the second manager that I got. This is a guy I got in 2015. But the second manager, even though he was nice and he tried to do right by his workers, he was too nice at times. And so what he would do is he would constantly tolerate this slacking from people. Like, he would never really, my second manager would never really get on my case personally, but he wouldn't get on the case of people who were slacking. So there's people who wouldn't show up to work, constantly call out, and he wouldn't do anything about that. He wouldn't punish them, he wouldn't write them up or anything like that. And what ended up happening is he would constantly ask me, he would say, Patrick, can you please come in? Can you please come in? And I kept coming in repeatedly for him. He was at least asking me, he wasn't demanding. It was kind of my fault for coming in too, because I kept agreeing. But I was getting annoyed, because I was constantly getting texted like almost every other night to come in. Like, you know, sometimes I would work like, you know, 5-6 days a week. And I had college at the same time, because there was people that just weren't showing up to work. They were just constantly calling out. It was like a bunch of college kids that just didn't feel like coming into work. And there was this one girl that I remember that every single time, she would call out so much. She probably called out like 30 times. Not even joking, 30 times. And one of my friends in real life, like, what happened was, we were working together, and one day she was late for like 10 minutes. And I literally, I said to him, I'm like, watch, he's gonna call out. We were just joking around, and then 10 minutes later, she calls the store, and she's like, I can't come in today. We're like, we knew it. So that's how predictable it got with some of these people not showing up to work, because they would just call out so many times. And so I covered this one girl's shift, like probably like 20 of her shifts, because she constantly would not come in. And what happened was, I talked to my manager one day in the office, and I said to him, can I talk to you today? And he said, sure, Patrick, what's up? And I said to him, like, you know, I'm like, I can't keep coming in like this. Like, it's like, I want some days off too. I want to relax. I don't want to constantly have to come in when people are like, you know, people are not showing up to work. And my manager is just saying to me, I appreciate your help, Patrick. Thank you for coming in. And I told him, I'm like, let me ask you an honest question. And please, like, tell me straight up to this. And he's like, what? And I said to him, is there a punishment for this? Like, is there any kind of punishment for people not showing up to work like this? Like, sometimes she doesn't show up to work and she doesn't even tell you she's not coming into work. Like, is there any kind of punishment for this? And he kept trying to divert from my question. He kept saying to me, oh, well, she has college and she has this and that to do and that and that. But, and I told him, but like, boss, you're not answering my question. Is there a punishment for this, for not coming into work like repeatedly like this? And he said to me, no, there is no punishment. And I said to him, well, why is there no punishment? And he said to me, what do you want me to do, fire them? And I said to you, no, I don't want anybody to get fired, but can you please sit with this girl in the office and just tell her, you can't do this. You can't just constantly call out, not tell people, because if you're busy, if something happens, okay, that's fine. But she would not even tell people. She wouldn't even tell people, I'm not coming into work today. She would just not show up. And then that would just, nobody knew where she was. We were always shorthanded constantly, and I was constantly coming in and covering her shift. Like, can you please tell her that this is unacceptable? That you gotta at least tell people you're coming in. And I told him, I don't want anybody to get fired, but this is ridiculous. I'm constantly getting texted and called by different supervisors and you to come in on days that I'm not working, and I'm getting, like, frustrated with this and stuff like this. And as far as I know, he never talked to her. He never even told her, you can't, you know, do stuff like this. And I told my manager, if you're telling me she has college. And do you know what I said to my manager? I said to him, I have college too. I go to school too. I have responsibilities too. We all have responsibilities. So, like, I'm still covering. I'm still coming in. If she can't come into work, then don't put her on those days to come into work, then if she can't come into work. Because that's what I was just personally getting really annoyed with that. Like, it's just, you know, it usually takes a lot to get me really annoyed, but it was just covering that many shifts, because like I said, I covered so many of her shifts. This was dozens of shifts. And when I actually wanted her to cover one of my shifts, she didn't. She refused. She didn't want to cover my shifts when I needed her. So, you know, you would think that somebody does something like that they would at least cover your shifts. But that's what I was just personally getting pissed off. I'm not a rat or anything. I wasn't trying to snitch on anybody, but I was just getting really annoyed that I was constantly getting spammed and texted. There were so many supervisors that would constantly text me and ask me to come in on my days off, and I was getting a bit annoyed. Now that I look back on it, I should have just put my phone on silent. I should have just put my phone on silent and not answered anything. But if I did that, the supervisors would have probably guilt-tripped me, and they probably would have made me feel bad for not coming in. That's probably what they would have done. They probably would have made it seem like it's somehow my fault for them being behind when it wasn't. So that's what I was getting really annoyed about, is that the people that were calling out, they never got on their case. They never said to them, you can't do this is unacceptable. But, you know, that's pretty much what I was just getting a bit frustrated with that personally. And, like, the first few times I didn't have a problem with it, but when it was happening repeatedly, then I was just getting a bit annoyed with that.
Yeah, Pro, you down for a legendary bounty?
Sure, possibly in a little bit. Hang on. Yeah, but I'm sorry for that story, guys. It was just like I don't think I've ever told that story before, but that was just something that just, like, what do you guys think of that, what I told before? Was I right to tell the manager that it was that, you shouldn't, you got to do something about this. You got to tell this person you can't come in, you can't do this anymore, because it was just personally getting me really annoyed that somebody was just not coming into work repeatedly and just not even telling the manager, and I was asked to constantly cover their shifts. I was just getting a bit annoyed, and it was just frustrating me so much.
Well, I'm sorry you had to go through with that.
I'm just happy I don't work in that place anymore. That retail environment was so toxic at times. It was just ridiculous. It was that, and I remember that I barely took a sick day. I almost never took a sick day. There was only maybe in the 6 years that I worked there, I think I only took like 3 sick days ever in the entire 6 years that I worked there. I was always present on time, every time. And one time, I remember I was so messed up. Like, I woke up, I was really messed up. I was coughing, I was dizzy, my head hurt. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't come in. I don't know if it was the flu or what the hell it was. Maybe it was bronchitis, but I just couldn't come into work. I couldn't. And I told my manager, and I said to my manager, I can't come in today. And then he says to me, Pat, I told him hours before. This is maybe like 4 or 5 hours before my shift starts, which is still plenty of time, 4 or 5 hours to call somebody. I know it was the same day, but I wasn't feeling that ill before that day. And I tell the manager, and the manager's all like, I'm sorry, Patrick, but you need to come in today. Like, I don't have anybody else. And I was just getting a bit frustrated because I was saying to him, can you please ask the other supervisors and the other, workers if they could come in? And the manager's like, you're gonna have to do that yourself. And I was like, thinking to myself, like, what? Seriously? And the reason I got a bit annoyed when the manager told me that I would have to contact him myself is because he would constantly contact me on behalf of other people, constantly, and say, this person didn't come in, can you come into work today? So that's personally what got me a bit annoyed at that manager. It was a nicer manager, too. He was typically nice, but that one response he gave me annoyed me a bit. And so what happened was I texted probably 5 different people, and these 5 different people that I texted, the 5 different people, they all of them refused. None of them said I can't come in today. I can't. All these people I covered multiple shifts. These are all people that owed me favors. Not one of those 5 people could come in and cover for me. And that literally got me so annoyed because it was like at this point I was like getting near my breaking point because I was like this is ridiculous. I do people favors all the time. I cover dozens of these people's shifts and they can't even cover one of my shifts when I'm so messed up. Like I'm so sick right here. I can't do it. And what ended up happening is I didn't have to come into work that day that I was really sick. And the reason I didn't have to come into work that day wasn't because somebody actually covered my shift. The reason it was the supervisor that was actually working that day. I called him and I explained to him what was happening, and I explained to him how messed up I was. He knew me, he knew I was a hard worker, and he heard my voice, and he knew that I was sick, and he knew that I was messed up. And he said to me, he called me literally maybe an hour beforehand, and he told me an hour beforehand, he told me, Patrick, don't worry about it, you don't have to come in. And I said to him, who are you gonna find to replace me? And he said to me, don't worry, I'll do your work today too. I'll do it, I'll take care of it for you today too. It's okay. Don't come in and mess yourself up more. And that supervisor was one of the nicer supervisors to me. He was actually a good guy, generally a good guy, nice guy. And so he did my work that day. He put an extra load on himself. I helped him out too in the past, to be fair, so I guess he felt like he owed me a favor too. But he was actually one of the few people that actually returned the favor and was a nice guy back to me. So that's actually why I didn't end up quitting, walking out, when I did finally end up quitting in September of 2019. That's actually one reason I didn't just walk out. I wanted to put my 2 weeks in because I didn't want to screw people like him over, because there was a few people that I respected. A lot of people I didn't like, but there was a few people that I did respect. And so I didn't want to screw somebody like that over, just leave them short-handed when I was quitting later in that year. And so that was that was one thing that I did really appreciate him doing for me. But there aren't a lot of people that will do that because people are pretty selfish a lot of times, very selfish, and they only think about themselves and they don't think about others. And so there's people when you're kind to people, when you're nice to people, people will see that and they will exploit that and they will take advantage of that too. It's not a bad thing to be kind and nice and help people, but it's a bad thing to be too nice to people sometimes, because people will take advantage of that. It happened to me. People took advantage of me at that job. People took advantage of that manager too. That manager was really nice at times too, and so people would constantly call out. He never yelled at them. He never wrote them up. He never did any of that. So that was so people took advantage of him too. But what I will say to you guys is what I'll say to you guys is the best way to get around this. Here's a lesson that I'll tell everybody. To get people to stop taking advantage of you, I have a tactic. And this tactic works 100% of the time. 100% of the time it works to get people to stop taking advantage of you. It's a very simple thing. Anybody can do it. And this works in the workplace. It works at jobs. It works at schools. You know, it works with family and friends. How do you tell if people are taking advantage of you? There's a very easy way to tell if people are taking advantage of you, if they're actually your friend or to take advantage of you. Here's what you do. When somebody asks you for help, whatever that is, at your job, at school, you know, your family, your friends, if they ask you for help and it's not something that you're required to do, if it's something you're required to do, then go and do it. But if it's something that you're not required to do and they ask you for your help with that, go and help them. Just help them. Help them with whatever they need and help them to the best of your ability. Then what you do is wait until you need help with something. Contact that exact same person and just say to them, don't even bring up the fact that you helped them. Don't even bring that up. Just say to them, hey, can you help me out with this? I need help with whatever I need help with today. Or tomorrow or next week, whenever this thing is. And just see how they respond. Because how they respond is basically going to tell you whether they were using you or not. If they say, no problem, I'll help you, just let me know when and when, then they're your friends. They were not using you, they just needed help, and they'll return the favor and they'll help you back. If they instead say, they try to get around this, and they say, oh, you know, I might be busy, I don't know when I'm going to be free and stuff like that, or if they say that to you, say this to them. Say this to them, I can wait, tell me when you're free. What day are you going to be free? Just say that to them. And if at that point, because they might actually be busy on a certain day, but just ask them, when are you free? When can you actually help me with what I need help with? If they, at that point, if they then tell you, give you a second excuse and say, well, I don't know, it's like that, they're just trying to get around helping you. They don't want to help you. They don't want to say straight up that they don't want to help you. Because do you know why? If they say straight up that they're not going to help you, they know you're not going to help them again in the future. So they're trying to say to you in a nice way that they don't want to help you. And so if they don't want to help you back when you help them, cut that person off. Don't ever help them again. Don't ever help them. And when that person asks you for help in the future, don't say to them, no, I'm not helping you. Just say to them the exact same thing they said to you. Say the exact same thing. Say, I'm busy. I'm sorry. I don't know when I'm going to be free. Exact same thing that they did. Because if they're going to screw you over like that, you might as well screw them over back like that. Because nobody deserves to be taken advantage of. And that's that thing. That tactic has worked 100% of the time for me. 100% of the time it works. Always. Just say, whenever they need help, help them. And then just whenever you need help, just ask, like, can you help me out with this? And when are you free? If they give you excuses, don't ever help that person again and cut them off. And that tactic has, that tactic has helped me tell who's screwing me over and who's actually a friend. So that's I would say is that works a lot. Dumb gaming articles. Yeah, that GTA 6 article I was talking about earlier. Let me see here. Let me see here. I missed a bunch of comments. Thank you, King of Killing. Thank you for sponsoring my channel, man. And thank you, Blinded Eagle. In 3rd grade, my Chromebook wallpaper was an Expert Thief thumbnail. That was just him inside his supercar garage, and I got in trouble. I'm 16 now. Well, why would that, I'm a bit confused. So you had a your wallpaper on your school computer is that of a YouTuber and you got in trouble? Well, you're just a fan of that YouTuber. Why is that? Why would you get in trouble for that? That's stupid school policy on that regard. F-35. Yep. DK Diego. Thank you for the super chat. I am excited for the F-35. Yes, General, what is it?
You might like this news article. It took place in Florida. So this this woman was in a police chase, and she used a truck that has like a ramp. She used it to use it like jump over like the roadblock, and she got into a wreck.
Oh, are you Are you talking about that when that car jumped off the ramp? I don't think that was a police chase. I think the driver was just distracted.
Wait, oh.
I know the video you're talking about. But thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, James Israel Haggins, for sponsoring my channel, and thank you, King of Killing, and anybody else who I missed. I do appreciate the support. I can't scroll up all the way to see if I missed anybody else. I'm sorry. Sometimes when I get into telling stories, guys, I just I tell stories like a lot here. Let me just see. Yeah. But yeah, guys, like I said, that's the easiest way to tell if somebody's taking advantage of you. Just all you gotta basically do is just whenever they ask for help, help them. And then when you need help, just ask for that person. And you might even want to test it. Just test it as doing a test. Even if you don't need that person's help, just test it. Just see if they're gonna be willing to come over and help you with something. If they're not, that person's a selfish person, and they were just taking advantage of you. They were using you. That person is not your friend. Because I cannot stand selfish people. I can't stand people that are just out for themselves. Can't stand people like that personally. What's going on right now? Are you doing a bounty mission or something?
I'm sorry?
Well, what's going on right now? Are you doing a bounty mission or something?
Wait, oh, no, I'm still there. Well, I was asking... Well, I'm down for the legendary bounty, so I was just gonna, give you some time. I thought you were doing something.
What legendary bounty do you want to do?
You know the Russian one?
Yukon Nick, yeah. Why don't you do it? Do Yukon Nick. Yeah, that one's a good one. Who's still in the posse? Who's still here? Okay. It's you, me, and Burb. Okay.
Yeah. Alright.
So I bet you wouldn't stand Deborah. I know people like Deborah in real life. I know people like that. So that's why I was able to analyze her personality so well. I know people just like that. Like, not necessarily people that are cheating, but people that are very scummy like that and use people. Very, very selfish people that use people constantly. Very narcissistic people. I know people like that. And I cannot stand people like that personally. Apparently from what people tell me, my analysis of Deborah was so well done that the GTA Wiki had even given her an entire personality page based on what I said. So I was, I'm very proud of that. One of my managers is so rude to me and my other coworkers. Even though we reported to HR, she still has her job. I assume it's because we're understaffed. Well, Mario, here's what I'll tell you. HR is not your friend. HR is just there to cover the company. That's pretty much what they're there for, in case something happens. They're not your friend. They're not there to help you.
But maybe more like a feudal lord. Way he runs that country up there. It's medieval, I tell you. Anyone wants to trade for near
That's my
Nick,
favorite
they
legendary
got to be
bounty.
ready for a
Yukon Nick.
fight. So I guess that's what happened to get him in trouble. They sent a marshal up there to speak to him
Just
a few
hopped on
days
my
ago.
PlayStation.
Been captured, most like. Don't let that happen to you.
What a long day.
Usually, Marshal, dogs.
How's it going, General?
This is one of the better
Pretty
bounty
good.
missions.
I make a special case. We'll be fine.
I'll play Red Dead Online with you guys for a bit or
We
something.
drink. Come on.
Did you start streaming really late or something, Pat?
I started streaming really late because I was editing a GTA Online video earlier today.
Well, that works out actually perfectly, because I was gonna be home very late anyways.
Some of these guys here, you could actually kill them quietly. So just Now
Usually I would let the
to
bears-
capture Yukon Nick alive, you know what the trick is? You gotta shoot him through the shoulder.
Yeah,
When he takes the
Yeah.
human shield. That's
I know.
There's gonna be a target
You-
right here on your right.
Alright, let me...
Okay.
Out. All right.
There we go.
Okay, that's second.
Hold on, don't start, nobody start shooting yet, because this is gonna be, really ridiculous here.
Okay, well, I was doing stealthily.
Oh, great.
Ah, damn it.
The bear cage, if you shoot it, the bear will actually come out and eat the, bandits.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Hey, General, do you mind sending me an
There we go, I got the bear out.
Sure, just give me a minute.
I can just get into the session. Wait for you guys to finish whatever mission you guys.
Damn, this is the worst, weather to be sniping in. Don't go down there, because there's just too many of them, but the fog is really bad right now.
Try to get myself some distance. Oh, yeah, different weapon. Gotta watch out for the dogs.
Careful not to release that bear.
There we go. Okay, that's the last one.
Yeah, this is gonna be this part.
We're coming out.
Yeah, I know what to do. I've done this many times.
I wish they would have actually continued the story of Red Dead Online instead of abandoning it.
Hey, please. Looks like you had me cornered here.
Yeah, it's so lazy. They didn't even finish the clerk story.
Oh,
Oh, did that kill him?
Jess. I mean, well, I'm not trying to point fingers. It wasn't me. I shot on the shoulder.
I was shooting in the
Sorry, I
shoulder.
think I may have shot him in the head.
I was
Sorry.
shooting in the shoulder too.
It's alright, Jess.
It's okay. I remember at the end of the first manager didn't show up to work for your race. Wait, wait, what?
Yeah, it's kind of stupid that allows to like restart all over again, but no, but
Don't get detected yet. Probably best to free the bears first. That's probably the best thing to do.
I'll take the.
Damn, this weather is so garbage.
Is it raining
Well,
in the game? No, it's raining.
I freed the bear.
I freed the second one. Oh, Jess, what happened?
Wait, so what happened?
Jess died. Okay, let's try this again.
Okay, I'll free the bear first. This shot here. Damn, damn, I'm having some bad luck with the shooting right now.
Can you send me an invite, General? Are you guys
Sure.
not done? Are you guys done?
Well, Michael, I'm probably gonna be having dinner soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
After
I'll let you
this
after the
personally
mission.
though. But hold on a second here.
Alright.
We're coming out. Don't shoot.
Oh yes, yeah, Tyrion.
Come to safety, huh? Huh? Hey, please. Looks like you have me cornered here. I'm going down. He going to.
That's how we do it in Soviet Russia. Wait, what?
No, he
How did he die? I shot him in the shoulder.
I don't know why this is happening too. It's get out of my condo. Floyd and Deborah, thank you, Mr. Waifu.
Why my weapons keep glitching? What the heck? Oh wow. I'm stupid like that.
Ooh.
Whoa, that bear is going. What the?
Alright.
Stop! We're coming out. Don't shoot.
Okay, where do you have to shoot this guy?
The marshal here. Come to safety, huh? Huh? Hey, please. Looks like you have me cornered here.
I remember it was in the shoulder that you had to shoot him.
He going to.
I'm gonna try the. Oh. No, oh. I think he's dead now. I remember I made a video on this a few years ago. I'm pretty sure it was the shoulder that you had to shoot him in.
I think I'll let you just shoot. I'll just hold fire.
Okay. No, I don't know anything about that adult.
Oh.
Stop! We're coming out. Don't shoot! Your friend the Marshal here. Come to safety, huh? Huh? Hey, please. Looks like you have me cornered here. I'm going down. He going to.
Hold fire. Let Pro do it.
Oh, come on. He kind of leaned into the last shot there.
He just glitched somehow.
Yeah, he leaned into the final shot and got hit hard. Worse. Yeah, it's about midnight where I'm at.
I have no idea how that's. This game gets glitchy sometimes.
Does anybody in the comments know where you're supposed to shoot him? I'm pretty sure you're supposed to shoot him in the shoulder. To, shoot the Marshal in the foot? Okay. Do that next time now. Yeah, I'm having some bad luck here. This cutscene is starting when the two bears are still out there.
Your friend the Marshal here. Come to safety, huh? Huh? Hey, please.
I'm shooting him in the foot.
Cornered here. I'm going down.
Alright, I'll
He
hold
going
fire.
to.
The foot,
There we go.
don't kick him
Oh,
too
no.
much, you might kill him.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to hostile him. Okay, so.
He's crazy, huh?
Don't put him on the horse yet. Hold on. Everyone get their horses and call them in, because what's gonna happen is when you put him on the back of your horse, it spawns so many of his enemies, like so many guys. Hope your day's going well. Your videos are awesome. What is the summer DLC that are supposed to be getting? A mercenary update, apparently. That's supposed to add stuff to gun running. Not gun running, smugglers run, I'm sorry. And two new planes, new fighter jet. It looks like a plane that's on the aircraft carrier. Some new missions and some things updated to the Avenger. Okay, listen, get on your horses, everyone.
You kill all my men, ruthless bastard.
Okay, run towards strawberries. Go, let's go. Go towards strawberry, quick, because they're gonna come. Just go, just move, run, run. Because there's gonna be so many of them coming.
Sometimes all you can do is funny how things turn out. One moment you can, next you tied up, staring at a horse's ass. Maybe. Poetic justice, maybe you call this. Let's not delay this any longer, huh? You sure this
Okay, we're
place
good.
will hold me? We will have to see.
If their neck breaks when you drop them in the cell, it still counts as alive. And this is yours.
No, I don't, Dalt. An oppressor in GTA 6? Oh, I hope not. So I guess we'll probably wrap up the stream here, guys. I'm gonna have some dinner right now because I'm kind of hungry. Let me know. Do you guys have any questions? Anything you guys want to ask me before I go? Hope I gave some people some advice and some things that helped them out earlier too, about work and not getting taken advantage of.
That's actually so awesome, Pat, about how a mercenary update is actually gonna come, because I was actually talking about that over a month ago, saying that GTA Online needs a mercenary update. So that's actually kind of cool. I know Melons is very excited about that.
Pleasure seeing you again, sir. Well then, have a look.
You missed my comment. Oh, I'm sorry, Isaiah. Hopefully the new jet won't have explosive cannons. Hopefully. Well, I just hope the new jet isn't overpowered. Yeah, I used to curse a lot more. I did in the past. I did curse a lot more. And it was because I had the reason that I had the reason I cursed much more is because when I tried to change over time, years going through YouTube, and I don't even curse that much myself off camera, not that much even. I know some people think it's because of monetization reasons, that's part of it, but it's also because I just try to avoid doing it less, because I don't really see myself as professional if I'm, constantly cursing. So
I'm the exact same way. I don't like to swear, even off camera. I don't swear much either.
With all the locals here, especially with
I don't think there should be any more futuristic vehicles in GTA games. I agree with you, Tarian.
I gotta say, the most video I seen you swear in, Pat, was the Walking Dead season 6 finale.
Oh, because I was pissed. That finale sucked. And thank you, Phoenix. Thank you for the comments. But yeah, it's a good. That's a good way to look at it. Is don't look at the views because it's gonna drive you mad. Instead, just do whatever content that you want to do. I'm gonna do a video on Jimmy Pegarino. Yes. Oppressor Mark III. Well, I kind of joked about that in my newest video. But I guess we will be going here, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you guys for coming by my stream. And if you guys enjoyed the stream, do drop a like. If you guys enjoyed the stream, had a lot of fun today. And I will
Let me know if you have any questions.
I will have a GTA Online video this weekend, if not tomorrow, on Sunday. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day and have a great weekend, guys. Take care.
Yep.